What is up, everybody? Keith Jameson, Go Back Good Guy 231 across the DFS industry. We back. 2-game Champions League slate. This is going to not be one of the more favorite Champions League slates. And a lot of it's just because United versus Atletico. Wow, I don't know if I was going to say it's compelling TV. I don't know if it's compelling TV, but it's interesting. I mean, you got Ronaldo, you got Simeone. It's 1-1. It's at Old Trafford. Okay. All right. I convinced myself to watch. But anyhow, should be an interesting slate. We'll see. I'll just go over it real quick. Just a quick reminder though, like, subscribe, comment, do that if that intro was actually enough to be like, I'm going to listen to this guy. Or it's trash. Turn it off. I get it. All right. Let's talk about the game. So we'll start with Manchester United and Atletico. Manchester United slight home favorite. Keep in mind, away goals don't matter, so it's 1-1. That away goal does not matter anymore. I think the big news is that Bruno's back in training after missing the Spurs game. Bruno should be back at 8,500, lock and load. That is easy. I think the next two big decisions is where it gets a little harder. Do you play 7,500 or Ronaldo? I have not played Ronaldo in like a month. It sucked this weekend. It definitely did not walk through or did not go all that well. Only 3 goals, versus my keeper, played Lloris. Everybody else played Raya. I had him. And then all the United COVID stuff came out. I'm like, going to Lloris. Forgot that. Ronaldo was mad at me for saying that I keep fading him. So anyhow, I think that's going to be the single biggest decision on the slate. So you play Ronaldo because everybody's going to play Tadic as one forward. But then do you go Ronaldo or do you go like another Ajax? Do you go Anthony? Do you go Bergwijn? Do you go Haller? Do you go João Felix? I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think the big thing is decide if you're going to go Ronaldo or Ajax. I think that's going to be the most common way to go. And then the other big decision from United is, do you play the left back? I think if it's Alex Telles, then absolutely. Alex Telles not only takes corners, but actually has open play value. If you watch my EPL this weekend, the biggest problem with Luke Shaw, who also missed the game because of COVID, now he's back in training. He's supposed to play. But Luke Shaw is crossing nothing in open play. So you get complete set dependency from Luke Shaw. And on that, he's splitting with Bruno and splitting with Sancho. So it's like, you're getting 3 crosses. Like one of them better result in an assist, or you're really looking at 560K, assuming no clean sheet from Luke Shaw, who you just paid what is he, 5,500 for or something like that. So I think those are the 2 big things from United. Yes, you can put Sancho in there as a guy to play. I think Pogba 5,200 is really interesting. There's some other midfielders that I like too. That are kind of the cheaper side without sets, but Pogba definitely is on that short list of the guys. And that's United. De Gea is fine too if you think they stay clean. I think for the 500 more, I'll just go up to Onana. But even Ajax is a little bit leaky. We'll talk about that as well. But so that describes United. Well, let's talk about Atletico. I don't really want to talk about Atletico. I don't. There's not much at all there that you like. They struggle sometimes to get corners. We know they're going to come out in a more defensive shape. That hasn't mattered as much this year with Atletico because their defense has been so shaky. The one thing you used to feel good about with Atletico was that. But I think João Felix is the guy I just kind of want to mention. I do think he comes in as a more contrarian second forward option. He has 5 goals in his last 5 games. He's looking like that Galactico signing that he was. So I think he's really interesting. United's defense is never anything that I'm going to be fearful of, especially as long as Harry Maguire's playing. I think you're definitely good to fire up some pieces. Maybe do something like him and Suarez, or Carrasco's the only floor play I'd really like, but even he stunk last game. DePaul, their corners are a mess because it's Carrasco, is it DePaul, is it Lodi, is it Hector Herrera? Last game I think they only had 1, so it's really hard to say. I think Atletico to me is just a pure GPP team, and even Oblak, who at 4,400 we used to would flock to. He hasn't been that great this year, so I don't know. I'm just mostly off Atletico. Ajax hosting Benfica, that is 2-2 on aggregate. Ajax is a minus 250 favorite, so we have a lot of Ajax ones. Dusan Tadic is the easy, free square, just plug and play. Majority of sets, takes their PKs, just gets double digits. It's nothing. Like I already mentioned, though, the second forward I think is the big decision on the site. Do you go Ronaldo, or do you go an Ajax guy? I think I'm leaning towards an Ajax guy. I don't know. We'll see. But Anthony's awesome. Haller is just scoring like crazy amount. Bergwijn should split sets with Tadic. So he's like the more flory play, but he's coming off a whopping 1.7 on his game log last game, so I don't think anybody will be there, making him actually like more intriguing for ownership leverage. But yeah, that's the forwards for Ajax. Gravenberch, sub 4,000 is really interesting. He's actually had some really good games lately domestically. Highly, highly thought of player. Has been on Liverpool's radar, been on a lot of the top teams' radars, Bayern's radar. So sub 4,000, I think he should be pretty popular. And then their defenders are like not all that DFS friendly. Like they don't cross the ball a ton. They're like very Sorare friendly, but they're very un-DFS friendly because they just don't like to cross. They don't like to lose possession. They're a very possession-based team. So Materazzi or Daily Blend are okay, but you kind of need the clean sheet. So they go really well if you want to pair them with Onana, which I don't know why DraftKings has Remco questionable. Remco's out for like 8 weeks, so like 2 weeks ago, so like 6 more. So it's Onana. The craziest thing with Onana and Ajax, so the whole season, all right, they like allowed no goals. I think it was like 6 the first like 20-something game. Well, they've allowed, it's either 5 or 6. I don't have my notes. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, I'll remember it, and now I'm at a stoplight, and I don't remember. It was either 5 or 6 goals in the last 3 league games, and they've been diverse, really, really crappy competition. So the defense is definitely not as it was at peak level, but they're at home. Benfica is a decent team, but there should be a decent talent gap here. I think Ajax is probably the most elite non-power, I want to say conference, like a college football, power league team that we have. So I think the talent gap is big. Being at home is big. I think Ajax should take care of business here. On the other side, I only really am concerned with Grimaldo. I think he showed great floor last game, almost 15 DK. I think that's probably the only play here, just with the odds. You're going like United, and then Ajax, and then sprinkle in like a Benfica player if you want. They're mostly going to be dependent on goals, with the exception of Grimaldo. So that's where I'm at. All right, almost at 8 minutes. That'll do it. Like to keep these short. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, like, subscribe, comment. It really does help continue to grow the channel. With that, I'll say, see you.